Jamie here from Red Duchess Farm, and we are a part of the favorite holiday dessert collaboration from Two Family Homestead. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my Grandma Underwood's persimmon pudding. A lot of people don't know what persimmons are, so I'm going to show you what to do with persimmon pulp. And I'm going to make it in our wood cook stove. And I haven't done this for a really long time, so hopefully it'll all turn out well. And we hope you enjoy the recipe that we're putting up and give it a try. If you have any other questions about persimmons at the end of this video, just comment and let us know, because it's, I think, a Midwest thing. So anyway, here we go. Okay, so we're going to start with the ingredients of our persimmon pudding. And this is a recipe that was my grandma's. So this is what I kind of run with. We have, from this year, persimmon pulp. We did 10 gallons of persimmon pulp this year. This is, each bag is 2 cups apiece. So I'm doing a double batch today because a lot of people like persimmon pudding. If you don't know what persimmons are, they are a fruit that grows on the trees. I'm finding that a lot of people don't have a clue what they are. So they're a little bitter when they're not ripe. Otherwise, they're really good. Okay, my recipe calls for flour, sugar, milk, my secret ingredient of vanilla, who does not use vanilla and stuff, eggs, and here we have your cinnamon, your baking powder, your baking soda, and your salt. So we will start with the wet ingredients. So I have 2 cups of fresh cow's milk. When I say fresh, I mean today. Then I'm going to drop in, no, I do not measure it. I mean, you never can get too much vanilla. I mean, that's just the way that goes. Then I will take my persimmon pulp. We're going to dump it in. Persimmon pulp is, when you get good persimmons, you can just sit there and eat it out of the bag. It's really tasty. I'm surprised at how many people have never heard of persimmon pudding. We have woofers on the farm, and I don't think any of them had ever had it prior to being here. So I have one that's patiently waiting for another batch. I just try to squeeze out as much of this as I can. Don't want to waste it. When you work out persimmon pulp, sometimes you never know what you're going to end up with it. You put your persimmons into a, looks like a cone-shaped colander with a wooden pestle, and you just work that around and around and around. And as you do, it keeps the skins, the seeds, and stuff like that inside that cone, and it pushes the pulp out through the bottom into the bowl. We do have to do some more, but it did snow, so I've got to see if we can get some more. The tree's loaded, but I'm waiting for some more to drop. If we can, we'll do a video on processing some. We really need to do some more. My friend Randy and I get together, and that's what we do. The key is to get it really mixed up nice and smooth. Okay. Now, a lot of recipes will tell you, and this recipe also says to add your eggs later. I just throw them all in. You just want to make sure they're beat up real well. Work those in. So since I'm making a double batch, I have used 4 cups of persimmons, 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of milk, 4 eggs well beaten, 2 cups of flour, and then my soda, salt, baking powder and stuff. And like I said, a little shot of vanilla for extra flavor. And we will be posting this recipe in the comments below, or in the area below. Of course, I don't usually do cooking videos, so this is different for me. Then I'm going to start adding my dry ingredients. Now, this is called pudding. Some people make this and it's more like a cake. They'll actually put enough stuff in to make a very cake-like texture. Mine, when it first comes out of the oven, it'll look cakey. But as it settles, it's very soft inside. It's not runny like a pudding, but it's a very soft, firm yet soft. I don't like the real dry, cakey stuff. If I'm going to make cake, I'm going to make cake. Now I'm going to add my sugar. I had to be so organized to do this. Could I use an electric mixer? Yes, I could. But what's the fun in that? And then start adding my flour. Glad that's all that. So I'm just gonna finish mixing this up. When it's done, you'll see a little bit of lumpies in there. Nothing major. You don't want great big chunks of flour floating around in there, but you're not gonna get it perfectly smooth unless you stick it in an electric mixer. Not necessary. Okay, so all we have is this great, wonderful goodness. And before I started, when I put everything together, I got the pans ready. What I did for my pans is you just want to oil them. I butter them. I like to use the fresh butter and rub it down and throw the flour in. So we have 2 of these ready to go. Yes, I could get a spatula and get all this out of here, but then what would I have to eat afterwards? Okay. You notice it doesn't fill the pan all the way. This is not something that you want, you know, to put too much in. It does have baking soda and it does have baking powder in it. So it is going to rise. So what we're going to do now, we are actually working with the wood cook stove. So we're going to stick this into the wood cook stove at, we're trying to hold it at 350 degrees. And I haven't baked anything in a wood cook stove since I was a kid. So we're going to see how this happens. It's not big enough to do both pans at the same time. Normally this takes an hour, just right at an hour to get to the consistency it needs to be done. But we're going to throw those in, and Mark's got it fired up here in the background, and it's setting about the right temperature, I think. Nope, not close. We're going to wait for it to come up. I'll throw these in, and we'll show you the finished product. Okay, we're still running a little bit hot right now, but I'm just going to keep a really close eye on this. Try to center it in there so you can kind of give a nice even heat. And let's see where this goes. Okay, so I have found with cooking with this wood stove to be a bit of a challenge, but I think I did okay. Things bake a whole lot faster, and my assumption is because it's heating all the way around really nicely. So what would normally take an hour has taken about 21 to 30 minutes. So it's been a big difference. I had to watch that I didn't burn anything on the top. So we have our second batch coming out. We did pretty good at keeping the temperature right around 350. As I take this over here and set it down next to the first one I did, you can see on the first one the way I had it set in there was a little too close to the firebox, and I got a little darker on the top, but it's not burnt. This one will sit here for a few minutes and then it'll start to sink down like this. The texture is kind of a spongy. So this looks like cake, but when it's done, it's going to have a spongy moist. Once everything cools and stuff, we can cut a piece and I'll show you what it looks like. This one will be ready before long. Did much better on this one as far as not getting the top done as quite as much. But as you can see, we had it set for 30 minutes. And this one I slowed down a little bit, moved it away from the firebox, and it took right about 30 minutes. This one we did in 21. So we'll see what the difference is. So this is Grandma Underwood's persimmon pudding. And we can't wait to get into it. It's usually pretty tasty. So thank you for watching. Leave your comments, hit the little subscribe button. And like I said, we will put this in the description below, the recipe for it. And thanks for watching today from Red Duchess Farm.